Returning home early from a business trip, I heard the door open and my cheating wife enter the house saying, "Stop it." A man's voice responded, "You don't want me to stop. In fact, I don't even want to wait until we get to the bedroom. We'll do it right here on the back of this couch. Just take off your panties because last time it cheated me." My revenge was immediate. I wasn't supposed to be home. That was the whole point. My flight had been delayed, and rather than waste another night in a hotel, I took the first available plane back. The drive from the airport was quiet. My mind filled with thoughts of surprising my wife, Sophia. Maybe we'd have a quiet dinner. Maybe I'd wake her up with kisses. Just something small to remind her how much I missed her. But then I pulled into the driveway. A second car was parked outside. Not a stranger's, but one I recognized, a black Audi. The kind of car someone buys when they want to feel important. I stared at it for a moment, something cold settling in my gut. "Chris." I killed the engine and sat in silence. I wasn't the type to jump to conclusions, but something felt wrong. Sophia wasn't expecting me home tonight. I was supposed to be thousands of miles away. I grabbed my suitcase and stepped toward the front door, careful with my movements. Just as I reached for the handle, I heard it. The unmistakable sound of laughter. Hers. Then a voice. His. "Stop it," she said, giggling. "You don't want me to stop," he replied. "In fact, I don't even want to wait until we get to the bedroom. We'll do it right here on the back of this couch. Just take off your panties because last time it cheated me." Silence. Something inside me snapped. I had imagined betrayal before. It's something we all think about, but always in a distant, abstract way, like a bad dream. But this wasn't a dream. This was happening right here in my home. I tightened my grip on the handle. I could hear the shuffle of clothing, their breathless anticipation. I didn't think. I acted. My revenge started the second I pushed that door open. The door swung open, slamming against the wall with a force that made both of them freeze. The air in the living room turned thick with shock, the heat of their bodies still lingering between them. Sophia was half-dressed, her blouse unbuttoned, exposing the lacy black bra I had bought her. Chris stood behind her, his belt unfastened, one hand still resting on her hip. Their guilty expressions said everything. I took a slow step inside, shutting the door behind me. The sound echoed through the room like a gunshot. Sophia's eyes widened in sheer terror. She hadn't expected me home tonight. "Honey, I can explain." Chris, the smug bastard, had the audacity to smirk. He didn't even have the decency to look ashamed. "Damn, man," he chuckled. "You should have called. We would have saved you a seat." That did it. I moved before I could think, crossing the room in 3 strides. Before he could react, my fist collided with his jaw. He hit the floor hard, knocking over the coffee table in the process. Sophia screamed, backing away as I stood over him. Chris groaned, holding his face. He spat blood onto my hardwood floor. "You son of a—" I grabbed him by the collar and hauled him up, slamming him against the wall. His cocky expression had been wiped clean. He was afraid now. "You've got 5 seconds to get out of my house," I growled, my voice deadly calm. He looked at Sophia as if expecting her to say something. She just stood there, frozen in horror. I shoved him toward the door. He scrambled to grab his shoes, tripping over himself as he rushed out. I followed him onto the porch. "If I ever see you again," I said coldly, "I won't stop at one punch." Chris knew I meant it. He didn't even argue. He just ran to his car and peeled out of the driveway. When I turned back, Sophia was standing in the doorway, arms wrapped around herself. She looked small, weak. "Good. I can explain," she whispered again. I laughed, a cold, humorless sound. "Oh, you will, but not tonight." I walked past her, grabbed my suitcase, and headed for the guest bedroom. The real punishment would come soon, when she realized just how much she was about to lose. The silence in the house was suffocating. Sophia stood in the doorway, still clutching her half-buttoned blouse, her face a mix of fear and desperation. The woman who had arrogantly welcomed another man into our home just minutes ago was now reduced to a trembling mess. She knew. She knew she had crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. But I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to cry. That would be too easy for her. Instead, I walked past her without a word. I could feel her eyes on me, waiting for an explosion, a furious outburst. But that wasn't coming. "Where are you going?" she stammered. I ignored her. I grabbed my suitcase from the living room floor and carried it into the guest room. Our guest room. The room she never cared about, because why would a married couple ever need a guest room? "You're sleeping in here?" she asked, stepping closer. "You're really going to act like this over one mistake?" I stopped mid-step, turning slowly to face her. "One mistake?" I repeated, my voice cold. She swallowed, her hands twisting together. I mean, it didn't mean anything. It was just sex." I cut her off. She flinched. I took a slow step toward her, watching as she instinctively backed up. "You weren't just screwing him, Sophia. You brought him into my house. You let him touch you on my couch. You laughed with him while I was out working for us." Her lower lip trembled. I don't know why I did it." I let out a short, humorless laugh. "You knew exactly why you did it," I said. "You did it because you thought you could. Because you thought I'd never find out." Her eyes darted away, confirming everything I already knew. She never regretted the act, only getting caught. For a long moment, I just watched her. The silence stretched between us, thick with everything left unsaid. Then finally, I broke it. "Go to bed, Sophia." She blinked. "What?" "Go to bed," I repeated. "Because starting tomorrow, you're going to learn exactly what it feels like to lose everything." And with that, I shut the guest room door in her face. The next morning, I woke up early. Not because I had trouble sleeping. I slept like a damn baby. But because I had work to do. I moved through the house quietly, making coffee, checking my phone. There were already texts from Sophia. "Sophia, can we please talk?" Sophia, "I made a mistake, but I love you. You can't just shut me out." Sophia, "Say something. Anything." I smirked. She was panicking. Good. Just then, I heard her bedroom door creak open. She must have been waiting for me to respond, because the moment she saw me sitting at the kitchen table, she rushed over. "Good morning," she said carefully. I was hoping we could talk." I took a sip of my coffee, not even looking up. "I'm busy." Her mouth pressed into a thin line. She hated being ignored. "I don't understand what you want from me," she snapped. "I already told you it didn't mean anything." I finally glanced up, my expression unreadable. "And I already told you. You're going to understand what it feels like to lose everything." Her breath hitched, and for the first time since this started, I saw real fear in her eyes. Step 1. Freezing her out. I didn't explode in anger. I didn't throw her out of the house. Instead, I erased her. I stopped acknowledging her presence. No eye contact, no conversation. If she tried to talk to me, I walked away. If she asked for something, I ignored her. At first, she tried to act like it didn't bother her. She huffed and rolled her eyes, pretending she was above my childish behavior. Then, after a few days, she started to break. "Why won't you just yell at me?" she finally snapped one night. "Why won't you say anything?" I leaned against the kitchen counter, tilting my head. "You don't deserve my anger," I said. "You deserve my silence." Her face crumpled, and she stormed off. Good. Step 2. Destroying her social life. Sophia loved her image. She lived for brunches, dinner parties, and gossip sessions with her friends. She needed people to admire her. So I made sure they saw her for what she really was. I didn't have to go around telling everyone she cheated on me. No, that would be too easy. I let her do it to herself. I started dropping hints in the right circles. A subtle shift in my social media. A quiet conversation with the right mutual friends. "Yeah, things are rough right now. It's hard when you find out the person you love isn't who you thought they were." "Oh, you haven't heard?" I guess it wasn't as much of a secret as she thought. Within days, whispers were spreading like wildfire. Sophia tried to go out with her friends, but something was different. The side eyes, the hesitant smiles, the whispered conversations that stopped the moment she walked in. "Hey, why is everyone acting weird?" she asked one of her closest friends. Her friend hesitated. "Sophia, is it true?" "Is what true?" "That you cheated on Pete?" She turned pale. "Who told you that?" Her friend gave an apologetic shrug. "People are talking." And just like that, her carefully crafted social life crumbled. Step 3. The ultimate betrayal. I had one final move to make. One last brutal twist of the knife. I waited until the perfect moment when Sophia was at her lowest. Isolated, desperate to cling to anything familiar. And then I struck. "I filed for divorce," I told her one evening. She looked up from the couch, eyes hollow. "What?" "You heard me. The papers will be here tomorrow." "No," she whispered, shaking her head. "No, you can't throw everything away." I let out a small laugh. She really thought she was the victim here. "You threw it away," I said, "the moment you let another man touch you on my couch." Tears filled her eyes. "I love you." I stared at her for a long moment before giving her the coldest smile I could muster. "No, you don't," I said. "You loved what I gave you, and now you have nothing." And with that, I walked out. The morning the divorce papers arrived, Sophia barely looked like the woman I once knew. Her hair was unbrushed, her usual confidence replaced with exhaustion. She had spent the last few nights tossing and turning, staring at me like she wanted to speak, but too afraid of what I'd say in return. I watched her as she picked up the envelope from the kitchen counter, her fingers trembling. She opened it slowly, as if delaying the inevitable. Then she read the first few lines, and her breath hitched. "You're actually doing this," she whispered. I leaned against the wall, arms crossed. "You thought I wouldn't?" Her eyes darted up to meet mine, glassy and desperate. "I thought," she swallowed, "I thought we could fix this." I let out a short, humorless laugh. "Fix it? Sophia, you weren't trying to fix anything when you spread your legs for him." She flinched. "Good." I pushed off the wall and took slow, deliberate steps toward her. "You didn't think about fixing things when you let him touch you in our home. You didn't think about fixing things when you moaned for him on the same couch where we sat together planning our future." Her lip trembled, and she dropped her gaze. But I wasn't done. "So tell me, Sophia, when exactly did fixing things become important to you? When you realized you lost? When you saw there were actual consequences?" She shook her head, tears falling now. It was a mistake," I scoffed. "No, a mistake is sending the wrong text. A mistake is burning dinner. You made a choice." She sucked in a shaky breath. "I don't want to lose you." I tilted my head. "You lost me the second you made me a fool. And now," I leaned in closer, lowering my voice, "you're about to lose a lot more." Step 4. Ruining her comfort. Sophia had gotten comfortable in this house, the one I paid for, the one I built a future in. But she had no idea I had already spoken to my lawyer about that. I was keeping the house.
She had exactly 1 month to move out, and I was going to make sure she felt every damn second of it. I stopped making grocery runs. I canceled all the subscriptions and amenities she enjoyed. Her spa appointments, her online shopping accounts, even the cleaning service. Suddenly, she had to wash her own dishes, cook her own meals, and live in the silence of a home that no longer welcomed her. One night, she finally snapped.
"Are you trying to make my life miserable?" she yelled, throwing down the dish sponge. I took a sip of my whiskey and shrugged. "I'm just treating you the way you treated me." She let out a bitter laugh. "You're punishing me." I smirked. Yet. Step 5. Taking her career. Sophia was always proud of her job. She worked at a well-known firm, one she had gotten into with my support and networking. And lucky for me, one of my close friends worked there too. I sent him a text. "Me. Find out if she's broken any company policies." Within a few days, I had my answer. She had used company time and resources to cover up her affair. meeting her lover in hotel rooms during office hours, sending personal emails from her work account. And with a little nudge in the right direction, her boss found out. She came home that evening looking pale. "I lost my job," she whispered. I feigned surprise. "Wow, tough break." "Tough." She looked at me then, really looked at me for the first time. "This is you," she said, voice shaking. "You did this." I leaned back in my chair, taking a slow sip of my drink. "I didn't cheat on myself, Sophia. You did this." Her breath caught in her throat. She had nothing left to say because she knew I wasn't done yet. Sophia had lost almost everything. Her job gone, her comfort shattered, her dignity crumbling with each passing day. But I wasn't done, because there was one last thing she still held on to. The illusion that she could somehow crawl back to me. Step 6. Destroying the last hope. Sophia still lived in the house, packing her things bit by bit. I could see the desperation in her eyes every time she lingered in the hallway, hoping for a moment of kindness. "Maybe we can try counseling," she muttered one night, voice barely above a whisper. I turned to her, expression unreadable. "Why?" She hesitated. "Because we had something real once." I stared at her, silent, letting the weight of her words hang in the air. Then I laughed. Cold, sharp, final. "We had something real, Sophia. That something died the second you let another man into our home." She flinched, but I wasn't done. "I don't want you. I don't love you. I don't even hate you anymore." I stepped closer, lowering my voice. "You're just nothing to me." Her breath hitched. That was the moment she truly broke. Not when I served the divorce papers. Not when she lost her job. Not when she had to pack her things. It was now. When she realized that no matter what she did, no matter how much she begged, there was no coming back from this. Step 7. The final public humiliation. The night before she was due to leave, I hosted a party. A celebration, if you will. Sophia didn't know until she came downstairs and saw our closest friends, colleagues, and neighbors all gathered in the living room. "What is this?" she asked, voice shaking. I smirked, raising my glass. "A toast?" She watched in horror as I stepped forward, commanding everyone's attention. "I want to thank you all for being here tonight. As most of you know, Sophia and I are going through a transition." I turned to her, my gaze sharp. "A well-deserved one." People murmured, confused. That's when I pulled out my phone and hit play. The video. The one where she and her lover moaned and laughed, oblivious to the camera catching every second. The room fell into dead silence. Faces turned from curiosity to shock. Friends looked away, embarrassed. Some gasped, others muttered under their breath. "Jesus, she did this to him in their own home? What a disgrace." Sophia. She was frozen, pale, breathless. Her body trembled as whispers filled the room. "Pete, please, stop this," she whispered. I tilted my head, smiling. "Why? Don't you want people to know the truth?" Her lips quivered. And then she ran out of the house, humiliated, crushed, and finally understanding what it meant to lose everything. The aftermath? Sophia never recovered. She lost her job. She lost her reputation. She lost her friends. And me? I moved on. A better house, a better career, a better woman. And as for Sophia, last I heard, she was struggling to hold down work, hopping from one cheap apartment to another, forever haunted by the public humiliation she brought on herself. Revenge served cold and permanent. Was this revenge justified, or did it go too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear your take. And if you love jaw-dropping pro-revenge stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and smash the like for more thrilling tales you won't want to miss. Every like, share, and subscription means the world to us. It helps us keep bringing you the stories you crave. Your support truly makes a difference. Thank you so much for being part of our community.